Jordan Evans, tell me a little bit about this week at the Merge Song Camp 2015.
It's like for us, especially from Toronto, to work with some of these guys who are just like some of the best in the world, and just like to learn from them and get in the room with them and just like see how they do their thing and how they operate. It's just been incredible so far.
Were you doing more producing or songwriting or beat making or some combination of the three?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, like, as a producer, we sort of give the foundation of the track just to give them sort of like a feeling and to see where they take it. I like to just sort of direct them in the direction that I feel like works for the track. And then, then after that, it's about just like getting the track to a good place where it, sounds amazing. And you know what it is? It's like because, there's just an incredible group of songwriters. So, there's like 5 rooms. Everybody's awesome. So it's like that competition is really cool too, because it's kind of like at the end of the day, you want to know what your buddy's making in the other room too. So it's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool.
I understand that when you were still in high school, at a very young age, you were already trading beats with Boy Wonder.
I met him through my older sister, actually. They're about the same age and went to the same school together. We all actually kind of went to the same school together. It was myself, Matthew Burnett, who, awesome, amazing producer who I'm working with, Boy Wonder, and Tyler, T Minus, actually, who was also an amazing, legendary producer. And we went to the same school, and we would just, just after school and then on the weekends, just like trade ideas and just make make beats together. And it was awesome. I learned so much from those guys. It's like hearing, I would send them some ideas and I'd be really excited because, I'd get a breakthrough and he'd be like, this is pretty cool. Matthew Boy Wonder, he'd be like, this is pretty cool. Then he'd send me like, listen what I'm working on. It's like, holy shit. And he'd blow my mind every time.
I understand that unbeknownst to you, that Boy Wonder would actually play your beats for Drake and people like that.
And this is before Drake.
Before anything, yeah.
And when it was, it was still Drake, but it wasn't Drake the way that we know Drake. It was, like I heard Best I Ever Had, the early version, like I heard songs, even, some of my own beats that I made with Boy Wonder, like that Drake would rap over and be like, this guy is awesome. He has everything, he has the potential to really make it all the way. It's like, this is like, 6 years ago almost, so it's really cool. Yeah.
You're working with young up-and-coming rappers like Shawn, Leon, and Daniel Caesar. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Those guys, they push me because the work ethic that those two of them, they want it so bad, and it's like the things that they're coming up with, and that as well, like they're not afraid to really push, and their sound, like it's really alternative, it's next level, and they're trying to find that sound that's gonna, when they come out, it's gonna be like, holy shit, this is crazy, excuse my language, and like that's what really gets me excited about even just the Toronto scene in general. Is like the artists that are willing to just push the envelope, push the boundaries. A lot of these guys ask me like, why don't I go to LA more often? It's like because Toronto is like the talent that's in Toronto, just in Canada in general. It's incredible. We got to work with Nikki Anofsky yesterday, and she's incredible. From Montreal, but she's kind of just like all over the map, And it's just like there's so much talent here that I want to be a part of the next generation, the next wave of artists that just like take over the country,
What are you up to next?
I'm going to be working on these songs for a little while. There's a few, we got to play a few songs that we were really excited about, and a lot of the A&Rs are really excited about for their artists. But there's a few songs that we didn't quite get to the point where they were finished enough that we could play them, but I got to finish those up. And then, just like I said, a lot of the Toronto guys that I'm really excited about, I'm just finishing up their record.
What advice would you give a young producer or beat maker just coming up?
Okay, 2 things. One, you really have to find your sound. You gotta figure out what you bring to the table and how this camp is a perfect example because we all come from different backgrounds, and it's like when you get 6 people in a room, you gotta know what you bring to the table. If you try and do what someone else is doing, you can't do it as well as maybe Jason Evican can or the Monsters and the Strangers can. So you got to figure out what you can do that can add to the song or just the vibe of the room. So I think that's like the most important thing is just figure out what you bring to the table. And the next thing is just relationships. It's everything. You gotta meet people, and you have to sort of make a lasting impression on people. You have to, when you reach out to them a second time, it's like they remembered you, and they remember, okay, this guy, let me take a listen to what he has, like what he has to say, or like his music, because that's so important in this business. Those would be the 2 things that I would say for sure.